Hello, everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we read all or parts of a manga, and then we discuss what's friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week, we are talking Ancient Magus Bride, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 20. I am Erin of Happily Erin, your host, and with me are two of my three lovely co-hosts, as well as a very lovely guest. So we'll have everybody go around and introduce themselves, please.
God, I feel like I've already introduced myself after all that.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dodger, and I'm excited to talk about Ancient Magus Bride because I really liked it. Spoilers.
Hi, my name is Lou from Lou Talks Anime, and I have feelings about the Ancient Magus Bride, and I'm not going to spoil them. Just stick around for a little bit.
Whatever. I see how it is.
Shots fired. Bang.
Pew, 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 pew.
And our lovely guest.
Oh, sorry. I got distracted. I can't.
I'm distracted by Pew Pew.
Wow, I stopped. I gave up on hosting already. Yes, I love the guest. They can't see me. They don't know where I am. Moeka.
Hello, I am MegaMoeka. I'm all of a sudden like super nervous, but hello. I do voice acting, and as you can see in the background, I like anime and manga and stuff, stereotypical, woo! But I do voice acting, and yeah, just thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
I'm nervous as heck now.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Everybody watching is a sweetie poop.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
awesome. And you're the best. And thank you so much for coming on. We're so excited to have you. If you guys have never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we're reading, aka a summary. And then we'll give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you do not want to be spoiled on, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section. Come back and watch the VOD of this on youtube.com/happilyerin, where all of the previous manga pods are hosted. We do ask that nobody in chat post any spoilers until we get to spoiler section, and once we do, we please would prefer if you did not post any spoilers for anything past what we read, aka chapter 20. If you do, you will be timed out and then you'll be banned. Also, don't post any sort of fake spoilers because our mods or us may not know whether they're fake or not. So just don't test it. It's just not something you want to play with. It's like fire. Don't do it.
It's just like fire.
Yeah.
Fire. All right, Moeka, if you don't mind reading our description for us.
Sure. So the description is, Hattori Chise is only 16, but she has lost far more than most. With neither family nor hope, it seems all doors are closed to her. But a chance encounter began to turn the rusted wheels of fate. In her darkest hour, a mysterious Magus appears before Chitose, offering a chance she couldn't turn down. This Magus, who seems closer to demon than human, will he bring her the light she desperately seeks, or drown her in the drown her in ever deeper shadows?
That sounds so. Hey, good job. When I read that last week, it didn't sound nearly as like melodramatic. Like just like when I think back on it, I'm like, wow, that was.
I think it gives an accurate idea of what to expect from this manga, though.
Oh no, definitely. Just sounded, yeah. Just didn't remember it.
Yeah, I feel the same way now that I think about it. So weird. What happened? What happened?
You and I were on the same brain length. We're both there. Let's do spoiler-free recommendations. Would anybody like to go first? Otherwise, I can.
I mean, I can go since I already told everybody that I dug it. I dig it. It's really good. It I think is more serious than people would expect at first. The sort of whimsical element that I think most people expect from looking at the artwork and stuff, you definitely get that. It feels very otherworldly. It's very fantastical and beautiful. But it definitely delves into some sadder and more serious themes, and I really appreciated the way that it did that. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I loved everything that we read.
Yeah.
I'll go next. Or actually, no. Go ahead, Aaron. I'm bad. It's hard to like time things out.
I know it's hard to like tell since I'm just like y'all can't see my face. I also loved this manga. It gave me a very Natsume Yuujincho vibe. So if you guys enjoy Natsume Yuujincho or Mushishi, anything along those lines, you're definitely going to get the same kind of feeling and the same emotions and character development sort of thing out of this. So I definitely recommend it if that's sort of the fantastical, whimsical, like Dodger said, setting is something that you enjoy. If you enjoy different takes on magic and learning what that world magic is like, then you'll also enjoy it. The world building is very well done. The pacing is really nice. The development of the relationship has been really sweet, and I just want to keep seeing more. And I just love the characters and how they are and all sorts of stuff. So I love this manga. It is very sweet while also dealing with heavier issues and dealing with them very well.
Aaron, I knew that you were going to mention Natsume, and I wanted to say it first, but nah, you definitely get to say it first because you're.
Aww.
The thing is, you enjoy Natsume.
Yeah.
I don't.
You do not.
But I highly recommend this manga because while I do see the parallels you can draw between it and Natsume Yuujincho or Mushishi, like you mentioned. I feel like this has just a certain side to it that maybe because it's not as episodic as those stories that I felt was more readily able to just draw me in. So I highly recommend the manga. I thought it was a fantastic read. There are OVAs out for it, and there's a full-length series coming out starting next month, or actually in a couple weeks. So I'm excited for all those things, and I highly recommend reading the manga. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Moeka?
Yeah, when I first saw this, I was just like, I don't know, this seems really girly, which back then, I don't know, I'm glad you said Natsume Yuujincho because I really love that series, and Mushishi. I love this genre. It's so good. But yeah, I don't know. It was like I was expecting something completely different, not at all this. So I was just, I don't know. Basically what you guys said, and on top of that, I was surprised at how good the art was for this manga.
Yeah.
When I first saw some of the covers, like I didn't think they were ugly by any means at all, but I don't know. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was through the whole thing. Because I feel like some mangas have like really good covers, but then once you go into the actual manga itself, the art kind of dwindles in quality, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was happily surprised.
Yeah. I was too. Like, we'll get more into that, but I definitely agree with that in terms of the art. So, that wraps up our spoiler-free recommendations. We obviously recommend that you guys go and check this out. So if you are wanting to do that and do not want to be spoiled, now is the time to take your leave. Like we said, you can go back and watch the VOD of this on my YouTube channel. It goes up pretty much immediately after the show. So you can like go read the manga and then come back and you'll be ready to go. Like, it's a very fast read, so you'll be good to go. So yeah, let's jump into spoiler section.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ruth is my god.
Okay, yeah. Ruth is pretty great. Not gonna lie.
Ruth is a good dog. He's a good 10 out of 10 boy.
Yeah.
What pet?
He's just the sweetest. All right, so the question we usually like to start with is, what were you expecting before going into reading this manga? Has anyone, before we go further, Dodger, are you the only one who's seen the OVA? Have you seen the OVAs?
I've seen them.
Haven't.
You seen them, Moeka? Have you seen? I have not. So
I haven't. Yeah, I waited.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the OVAs before I read any of the manga, and I expected going into it because of like the art style of the OVA, and I think that I would probably have had the same kind of a feel when I first started the manga. Maybe not though. I was gonna say that the OVA at first gave a feel of like a supernatural slice of life. Like it had a very ethereal, like whimsical feel, but it also, the OVAs like start off just with them in the Magus' house, and like, everything's already settled, it's already happening, right? So it felt very just like, oh, she's making medicine and he's doing this and Silky's doing this and blah blah blah, right? So when it started to take more of that darker turn, once it started to go more into those themes, I was like, oh, I was very surprised. But I think because the manga started off with straight up just human trafficking, I was like, I feel like we're probably going to continue to have, some more serious stuff brought up. And I was really, really glad that in the stuff that we read, we started to touch on kind of his nature more too, instead of him just being like this mysterious bone man that we never really talk about. So
yeah, I agree with that too. I think the most unexpected thing for me was Elias's character, and what we saw of him from like the start to like near the end, what we learned about him, just because you expect somebody who looks like that as a very specific character trope, and that they're all knowing and have this obviously really dark past, so they're really broody and are just, they can very easily fall into that like very strong tsundere where like you don't like them. It's just he's kind of abusive in like the abusive role that happens sometimes in shoujo, where you have the person who is like, trying to think of, there's been a few anime like that where the guy is like, no, you're mine, and claims her.
Right.
So to see him have a little bit more, I don't know, respect for her was something that I was a little bit more surprised to see in his character too. Like he was a lot more goofy than I expected him to be.
Yeah.
Which I loved. But yeah, I didn't expect it to get as dark as it did at all. Lou and Moeka, what are you guys expecting?
Well, my expectation was I expected it to play closer to just conventional shoujo, but just a slight sci-fi, or not sci-fi, a fantasy twin, like going in that direction. Kind of like a Shirayuki Hime is kind of what I expected. And I don't think I was too far off base by having those expectations. I feel like because I initially thought, okay, Shirayuki Hime is more or less the direction that I was that this manga was gonna take, which is an empowered character, kind of doing what she needs to do, but also within the confines of a setting where she has to answer to people, like that's how Shirayuki Hime is, since she responds to a monarchy. Versus this manga, which kind of has a similar play, but she's more, I guess, willing to surrender herself to Elias, and kind of the context for why that's the case, in that she feels that she's actually loved and received, which Donder mentioned earlier, the whole thing with human trafficking. And this is one thing that really bugged me about the manga, is that no one at any point really talked up how heinous of a crime that is, especially if you understand how serious it is in just all the countries that have that touch the Pacific. Like human trafficking is a huge issue in that area, so you would think that they would really talk it up as just a horrible crime.
I thought that the explanation they gave for it was really interesting, though. Like, as horrible as it is, the fact that they explained it as, well, so few people have magic now that any children that are in the system wind up here, so that, like, magicians and sorcerers and witches can find them and like teach them.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess so, but then why not have just an orphanage for them? Why sell them? Like it was odd.
Adoption. You can adopt.
Yeah, you could adopt.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, well, once you take somebody under your wing, they're like your child. And I'm like, then why did you buy them?
Yeah, because it's also like it lends itself to a weird like Stockholm syndrome thing too. As the series goes on between Chise and Elias, like it's a very. There was times where I was like, all right, I'd support, but I feel a little weird at sometimes, like some of the things that she would say.
But they also called her out on, like every other character called her out when she would say things that were suspect, though, which I appreciated.
Yeah, it was not enabling it in any way.
But then there's like the whole other side of it of, well, yeah, it's kind of like adoption, but everyone is playing it as if she has a romantic connection to him and she's his bride. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's still kind of weird, but I guess I get what you guys are saying in terms of like the justification for it kind of made sense in the context of the universe.
Yeah, but I there's still definitely a little like weirdness against it. What about you, Moeka? How did you, when you were going in expecting it? I know you were saying you didn't expect it to be as dark or like the art to be as good, but did you have any other thoughts?
I don't know. I was kind of like thinking the same thing as Lou, basically. I was just like, oh, this is like that. He's really not like this bone demon dude. It's like a normal dude underneath the thing. He's just wearing that for shock value or something. It's just gonna be like a stereotypical shoujo, but I was very happily surprised that it's a bit more serious. So good. But,
Awesome.
Yeah. I loved all of the information that we got about him. Like,
yes.
That he actually hasn't been, like, in comparison to other sorcerers, like, everybody holds him in such high esteem, but he hasn't actually been around for that long.
Yes.
And that, like, he vaguely remembers eating humans at one point, but, like, he doesn't want to. And, like, I also think that it's interesting that he admitted to Chise that a lot of the ways that he interacts with people are things that he's picked up from like watching normal humans. That he's like, I don't really know what any of this, like any of these emotions are or what any of this stuff means. I just replicate it. And I was like, I'm glad that he was really honest about that, because it showed a lot of, I think that it gave a lot of power to how many times Chise was told off by people who really knew him, who were like, you need to make sure you're watching out for yourself and you're living your life for you, because like you never really know what Elias is thinking, because he's just whoever he needs to be in the moment, you know, because he's not a human. Like I thought that that was really interesting that he like admitted that near the end. Yeah,
and it explained. Oh, go ahead, Lou.
I was gonna say he's kind of like a sociopath then.
Yeah, totally.
That he's reacted. Yeah.
I was gonna say and it adds like him being so young is very much was kind of shocking to me that he was technically so young, and so the fact that he like had never felt what it means to be like lonely, like he didn't know what that means, and it's such a childlike thought process. And so just realizing, the way that he's kind of acted like a child in previous chapters suddenly makes a lot of sense about why he is the way he is, because he's not that old wise sage just been wandering for years learning information. Like was reborn and he has no idea where he is. He had no memories other than that he vaguely remembers eating humans. So that adds an interesting twist to him, and in terms of how his relationship can grow with Chise as well. So that's not just a one-sided, one person's learning from one person and the other is just the teacher. So having it be a double-sided relationship is interesting.
Having them like learn from each other instead.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Chise? Should we talk about Redhead Precious?
I don't know how to feel about her. And it falls back to what I was saying earlier of like, she has the potential to be a very, I guess, assertive character, because she has, like, in the whole story with the cats, where she made the decision herself how she wanted to handle that situation. And her stepping up to, was it Ruth that she was protecting when the that weird kid showed up?
The stabbing. No, it was the familiar of the guy with the scar. This
Yeah.
was she protected when she got stabbed.
So like she definitely is assertive, but then she has that ultra submissive side to her where she just kind of like acquiesces to whatever Elias wants, and she's really dependent on him, and she's always concerned for where he is, which I guess one way it could be interpreted as, oh, well, she just genuinely cares about him. She has strong feelings for him. But I don't know, it's just with the whole fact that she's just afraid of, she has abandonment issues. That codependency, I just don't like that in characters. I like characters to be more assertive. I don't know, I feel like I don't want to say that all characters in all media have to be like healthy mentally, but I want to see, in specifically this story, a person that's gone through these type of circumstances like show steps towards being, I guess, in a better state of mind where they're not as dependent on others because of all the trauma they've gone through.
I feel like that's what her story arc, like her character arc, is going to be, because again, because so many of the major characters in the story are trying to tell her like it's not fair to you for you to just lean on Elias all the time, and it's not fair to you to like just say it's okay if he throws me away, and it's okay if like whatever he needs me to do, like I'll do it. Like that's not okay, you know. And I think especially with the letter from the school, like I'm really hoping that she like starts going to school and like becomes like her own type of sorcerer, you know? I feel like that is the story arc that needs to happen for her, is for her to be a person all on her own.
Yeah, I agree. I really want her to expand and like reach out and meet other people, just so that she is able to overcome like just the fear, especially like when you have been abandoned and like have those issues and have had that trauma in the past. It's so hard to go to the crossover to the part where you're like, all right, there's a possibility that in this relationship they could leave me, but I have to be okay, and I have to take the chance of understanding that that is life, and I have to overcome that fear of no longer. And so I think if she has different relationships and meets different people, she'll be able to build towards having that a surety in herself and in her relationships.
Yeah, I like her. I think that I would be. I get that she's seen like fantastical things her whole life, but I kind of wish that we saw more moments where she was filled with more wonderment. You know? That like when things she's never seen before happened, that she was more like caught up in it, you know? She does have kind of that stony trope mentality to her, where it's like, oh, she never reacts to anything. Oh, she's not shocked by my appearance, like that kind of a thing. She definitely has that aspect to her character, and they mention it often, like, wow, she's so like just chill with all this weird ass shit going on. You know? Like, they mention it a lot, and I would love to see more times where she's like a bit more like taken aback and excited about things.
She got a little bit of like a stereotypical magic hero protagonist going on. Where everybody is drawn to her and like sees this amazingness in her, and she's like, oh, what? And so they're slowly bringing it out in her, but it's kind of, she's got a very stereotypical tropey character, but I do like where they're taking her storyline to make it a little bit more unique with her. But that was something I thought, like, I really like her, but I was also like, I feel like I could see this character in many other series done just the same.
Yeah.
So. What about you, Moeka? Do you have any thoughts on Chise?
I love her, but I have to agree with Lou. I was just like, take the reins, their bajongles, like, come on. I forgot to ask, like, what I'm allowed to say here. I don't know if things have changed, but
say whatever.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know. Sometimes I was just like, Chise, just don't do that. Like, you're a big girl. You can do this. I believe in you. And then it was just like, oh no, here we go. There's Elias to the rescue, I guess. But yeah, basically, you guys already said everything that I was thinking. But I'm really hoping that she does outgrow how she currently is and gets over, like, or learns to cope with, like, oh, hey, I was abandoned and I don't like it, but here's my steps to recovery, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Building off of what you said, Moeka, you kind of mentioned Elias being there to save the day. I would like to see her in more situations where he's not a readily available safety net.
Yes.
I
Like-
thought that's what we were going to get out of the staff storyline. With her being, like, so far away from him with all the dragons. And, like, I really liked those chapters anyway. But, yeah, I was like, oh, man, she's going to be really far away from him. I wonder if, like, something's going to happen. And it wound up just being more, like, emotional things happening. Like, she found out that maybe he eats people. But, yeah. Sorry, Lou. I totally, like...
No, it's fine. That's kind of like what I was hoping someone would say.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I agree. I was like, oh, there's going to be a lot more danger to her, but it became, she was still in, like, no danger because she was with this mad guy who was just incredibly talented and strong.
True.
So it's like stronger than Elias, so it's like, oh, she's in better care here than she was there, so there's still no real threat, except she fell off that tree that one time. But Ruth was there.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lyndall. Oh my god, Lyndall. That's all I'll say. Woo!
You can say more. Say more.
I was gonna say Lyndall, I love him. He's got my aesthetics that I like in my anime boys.
Go on.
Your heart.
He's
Your
a
heart.
powerful caribou boy.
Right now. Woo!
He was very aesthetically pleasingly drawn.
Yes.
And I like that which fits with him being, like, a really strong mad guy, like the earthy, like, feel, like other dimensional kind of he's just so pretty and just feels like he's drawn very Disney princey, which I think is kind of supposed to set him apart from other spirits and stuff. And so I think I liked his design a lot. I thought he was very pretty.
Like he would be the normal male lead in this type of story.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did look very similar, though, to the one-armed guy's apprentice.
Oh yeah, I got them.
The two long-haired blonde dudes looked very similar, and I was like, okay, one of them's a little more emo. That's how I'll tell you apart. But yeah.
I am interested to see when those two come back. Okay, I don't know.
Well, they're obviously involved with the school, so I think that if she winds up going to school, she'll see them again. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I think I want the evil kid dude. He kind of felt, to me personally, like, I know he's gonna come back, but he felt like such an inserted villain that didn't need to be
monster
there.
of the week.
Yeah, and then he was gone, and I was like, wait, he seemed like he was really important, but at the same time, he's just, I've seen him in every Sailor Moon episode that exists. I was like, wait, what are you doing? So I hope that he comes back, but I also hope that he's developed and fleshed out a lot more, because right now he's such a standard villain, where he's like, I just want to live forever, never feel pain again. And I'm like, all right, why? What's up with you, dude? You just came in all stabby, told the dude to kill cats because you wanted an experiment, and then you're out. Which that part was like, real fucked up, but I'm like, I don't know. His insertion just felt very random for everything that we got afterwards. But I'm sure he'll come back and there'll be more, but I don't know. Like, his chimeras and everything seemed like it was leading into more information about chimeras, like an arc about the chimera. So I just think the placement of it was very bizarre. Personally.
I hated where we stopped reading, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what's going on with the old man and the vampire.
I know.
I was like, what happened to him? Is he dead?
Like, honestly, that's the best pairing in this manga. I love
Right?
vampires.
OTP.
I love
OTP.
Soul, and yeah, I love them too. I was just like, when they first popped in, again, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be like stereotypical, like she just wants his blood, his money, you know, and that's it. Like, she's gonna be like, oh, the dude's dead, I'm moving on, and then it was like, oh no, my heart, she's falling in love.
She's
what
literally
do I do?
hung around him for
but I
who
also
knows
love
how
that
many
she
years,
says
and he can't see
specifically.
her.
What?
What?
No, I was gonna say that I love that she specifically says that, oh, when she loves men, they die. So this can't possibly be love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a huge sucker for stories where they cannot be together.
I
like
know.
They love each other, but they cannot. There's no way. And when they do, like that, one of them is gonna die or something horrible will happen. Like, I'm a sucker for that. I don't know if it's because they're so painful, and I'm like, I need the pain to live. But they're so...
Aaron, why are we so alike? I hate it. I'm just like, damn it, she's saying my words right now, word for word. It's a bad feel. I want them to be happy, but at the same time, I'm just like...
Yeah. As somebody who, like, doesn't... That's the only true angst that I, like, love to see. Like, usually I'm like, fluffy, cute, everybody happy. And then I get to stories like that, I'm like, oh my god, they can never be together. That's why they should.
Oh my god, and like the fact that Chisei being there created a situation where he saw her for just a split second. I was like, stop. Stop my heart.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, them like snoozing on the couch together. Oh, it was just
no.
I know. My heart.
I'm scared. I feel like, I think what?
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I think he dead. But that's.
I hope he's not dead. I thought that I liked that they led us to believe that she had taken his blood and given him like the ability to write or the ability to grow beautiful flowers. Like that explanation came so early in meeting them of like, oh yeah, well, vampires suck blood and then they give some kind of a wish or an ability to the person that they've drawn blood from. And then she's like, no, I've never drank his blood. And I was like, oh, stop it, it's so pure.
Yes. I love that part as well. I want them to be, I'm glad they're bringing them back and that they were not just like a one-off couple or story. Like, I'm so happy that they're bringing them back.
Also, King and Queen of the Fae, weird. Those guys are weird.
Yeah.
Those guys are super weird.
I was going, okay, this is the other one that I was gonna say.
No, hit it. Get your feels out. Do it. Anything.
Over
no filter.
on,
Go.
I was gonna say, I'm so sad that he's a married man because, again,
this sweet fluffy satyr boy. You just want to touch his butt.
They're so weird, but I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh,
The two sides of Moeka's coin.
Now everybody knows here. Let's go.
They were so like out of. There was another thing that I was like, oh sorry, I just woke David up. Oops. But there were another thing that I was like, wait, what are you doing here? Oh, okay, bye. Like you were here and then you're
I'm sure
gone.
they'll come back.
They'll come back, yeah.
But yeah, the fact that they showed up, because she literally came to like meet Chisei, right?
Yeah.
She was like, hello, I'm the queen of the Fae. And all the Fae were like, oh. And then it took like, what, 5, maybe 10 minutes before she was like, bye. Just like trotted away. And I was like, oh. Alright, fucking see ya.
Or like, he was like, he was being really noisy, so I left. And then he shows up.
He was there anyway.
Like, why do you guys not just come together? I don't understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very interesting. Should we talk about Ruth?
Yeah, best boy,
Okay.
10 out of 10
Yeah.
dog.
Pet.
He
Out of
has
pet.
another pet out of pet. He has another one of those backstories that like is so tropey and happens so often, but every single time it breaks my heart, and I love them, and it makes me, because I'm a sucker for those, so I just tear up every single time. I don't even know if I'm connected to the characters. I still like cry a little bit.
Is it specifically animals that can't let go of their owners? Because that's what it is for me.
It's that, and then also just like anyone who's super dedicated to somebody and loves them, and then they
super
die.
dead. Sorry, keep going.
No, that's it.
Anyone
just
who's
that.
super dead, it
It's-
just gets me.
It's super dead. It just gets me.
I just love when they're super dead.
Super
No,
dead.
I like-
It's like the dedication. Somebody being so dedicated to somebody that they love, and then not being able to stop them from dying, but also not fully comprehending that they've died, and so they keep holding on, which has happened. That's been so many stories in Natsume Yuujincho, and it kills me.
Yeah, it kills
It's
me
just
every
fun.
time.
Time where they're like, they don't realize that the person has died, and you're just like, no, they're dead. Move on.
Yeah.
Your
No,
heart.
it hurts every time. Oh my god, the amount of times that Natsume Yuujincho has made me cry, it's insane. I don't know.
Yeah. Same. It's bad.
I cried a couple times reading this manga. I think the first time that I cried, I definitely cried with the Ruth story, but I also teared up when she met the elder dragon.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And he was turning into the tree and said, "Thank you for letting me fly one last time." And I was like, "Stop it!"
Yeah. Yep.
Just
Yep.
fucking-
Same. Oh my.
I thought that
Like,
was so sad.
I got goosebumps remembering it.
Yeah.
I can't show you guys, but my hair is sticking up. That sounds so weird. Yeah, there was a few times when they met, like when she was doing her staff, and he was talking about how she hadn't gone through the horrible things she had, she would not be at a point where she can impact other people's lives. And I think that's just such a good point for people who are struggling, that if you keep going, there's this chance that you're going to impact or change somebody else. And if you like don't give yourself the opportunity to make that happen, like you just never know like what could happen and what your smallest little impact could have on somebody. And like whether it's you're jumping out and being heroic, or even that you texted somebody hello like the next day, and that made them get out of a dark spot. And so I think it's just such a very good message, what he was telling her. And I really liked the way that he was telling it to her as well, because it was very matter of fact, but still spoken and written very well, that it had an impact, but it wasn't too preachy either, if that makes sense. Like it didn't make it seem like he was giving a grand speech or monologue or something out of Shakespeare like that. It just felt very, very real and personal. And so I really liked that part. Made me tear up, because I love that theme that happens where characters are like, hey, if you hadn't continued on, then you wouldn't have saved this person, or you wouldn't have saved Ruth, and Ruth loves you now, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. Oh, speaking of Ruth, I love that he wanted to be her familiar. Like just that connection, and there's a narrative reason for it. And there was like, I guess, foreshadowing to that reasoning, because earlier, like a couple chapters earlier, they mentioned, oh, you're gonna need a familiar at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I totally, when we saw him, I was like, he's gonna be her familiar. And I love that there's no forced romantic thing there. It's very much that he loves her because he's dedicated and protects her, and that he is her familiar. So that relationship is very nice And that I like when he transforms into like a little boy, and they're just walking and holding hands. And he's like,
I know, it's so cute.
Like, ah!
And they just treat each other like siblings. It's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I think that's what I really like about their relationship. It's like you said, it's not a romantic one. Like you can definitely tell it's not, and it's sweet. I love it. Oh
yeah.
I want to know more about Silky.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's okay. I was gonna say if we don't bring her up, I'm gonna be sad. But yes, I love Silky. She's adorable.
Yeah, she doesn't talk, and I don't necessarily need her to talk. I just want to know like what she is and more about her, and like I don't know. I just want to know more about her.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. That like, what is her purpose for being there, and what is her connection? Like why? What? Why? Who? Why? What? Who? Why?
Yeah. What was the explanation when we first met her that she's a fae that stays in the house, and so in exchange she does the chores?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I was like, I need more. I need more than that.
I need to know more.
Yeah.
I was like,
And
this
apparently
isn't
she can
enough, so-
transform into like a seal or something.
She
That's-
can?
She
Was
said
that
so in
her
a
or
line
was
of
that-
dialogue, wasn't it?
No,
That
I think
that
that
was,
was
Dragon Boys
yeah.
familiar can turn into a seal.
Yeah.
Okay, I got mixed up then. Okay, that's fine.
They
But
look-
she's great though.
They look very similar.
Yeah, they do a little bit.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Should we talk about art? Should we move on to
Sure.
art?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your feels?
You like were really spotty and came in and out on that. At least on my end, so it was just it's like, all right.
Yeah, but the thing, my end too. She came in like that, but you know what? I know what you meant, Aaron. So, it's okay.
I thought that
You
sometimes
know.
the art was absolutely gorgeous. Sometimes things, it wasn't like one of those manga where I was like, God, every single panel looks perfect. But I thought that there were lots of moments that felt very magical, that were drawn in a way that I've used the word whimsical like a million times this MangaPod, but that did just feel very whimsical, you know. And the way that in the like kind of goofy panels, the way that Elias was drawn reminded me of Al from Fullmetal Alchemist and made me happy.
Yeah.
It was just like a little bubble
I
head with
agree.
like teeth. I was like,
Yeah.
yay.
He's so cute. Yeah, I was the same. Where I wasn't blown away every single panel, and maybe not even every single chapter, but I thought it was a very consistent art style. I thought the art was very consistent, and it added to the atmosphere. It did what it needed for the story, and I thought it was very pretty. There's never, I just throughout the whole thing, I remember thinking this is really pretty and nice. Like I felt very at ease with the art. There were a few times where Chise's face felt a little skewed. Where like it felt like her eyes were just a little unbalanced, like sat weird in her face, or her face was stretched weird. I don't know if that was, but there was just a few times where I felt that, where like, Chise, what's happening to you? But I really enjoyed the scenes of them together a lot, especially when it was a big emotional moment. And I really enjoyed the designs of all of the spirits and fairies and stuff. There are definitely same face syndrome on some stuff, for sure. But I think overall I thought it was very pretty and gave the magical atmosphere that is needed for a story like this.
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go. Dodge it. Go.
All I was gonna say is that I think the only wonky things that I noticed were sometimes hands were a little bizarre. Sometimes there was a hand that was like holding a spoon, but it was like this. Yeah. I was like, no one holds a spoon like that, my dude. Anyways, Blue, go for it.
Well, maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe it's in Japan.
You know what?
I don't know.
Maybe in England they hold spoons like this. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
You never know.
We'll never know.
Not like you know anybody.
I wouldn't know. I've never been, but
I noticed some of the art issues, but I don't think I spotted as many as you guys. I was really drawn into the atmosphere of the manga, which, like Erin said, not everything was drawn spectacularly. It did have this air about it that kind of like brought you into the world in terms of like how it was presented, more so than the narrative. I feel like it was the art that really brought me into this world. As for the big moments, like all the big moments were drawn well and were given the attention that they really deserve. I'm wondering if the actual physical volumes, if they went back and fixed a lot of those little gaffes and drawings, because the scans that I was reading, I don't know if it was from the regular publication or if it was in the bounded volumes. That said, I really appreciated the art. I liked all the designs. I specifically really liked Elias's design because I felt that it really stood out from everyone else. When Elias was in the room, it was him. Whereas there were a couple other characters that had a little bit of the same face, but at least it wasn't the entire cast having the same face, which is a problem that I have encountered in other manga. But yeah, I like the general design philosophy that went into this manga. It looks really nice.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because the author, because this is the other thing I was going to bring up now that we're talking about the art. I think it's just the author writes and draws the manga all by themselves as far as like I could find. Then again, I didn't like research too much into it, but I'm pretty sure they're the only one credited, which I mean usually with manga nowadays it's you have the writer and then you have an artist who draws whatever the writer like scripts out. So I don't know how to word this without it being like, I don't know. But the other thing I was gonna say, I think I like the art more because I can see I don't know if it's because the author is a female, so I don't know. I have this problem when certain like male authors create female characters. It's like, oh, I'm this like big booby sexy character that like
the anatomy is a little wonky.
Yeah, it's a little wonky, and it's like, oh, teehee, I'm shy and I'm like the perfect girl, but I like have all these layers to me. But it's like something about them is off to me, and I didn't get this in this manga with the art especially. Because it's like Chisei obviously is not like this big bodacious like female lead. She's a girl and you can tell that she's young, like a young girl. Because as like we said with oh my god, I'm blanking out on her name, but the vampire succubus lady, she like her, you could definitely tell that she's an adult, and even then her, like, I don't know, her design made sense, and it wasn't like a, hey, look at these big ol' personalities on her.
Yeah.
Personalities.
She did look much more sexual, obviously, but it, like, it totally worked, and it wasn't, I was gonna say it didn't feel distracting, but I guess that is what I mean. It, like, the story still flowed fine. You weren't going, Jesus!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she felt like she still matched up with like the way everything else was drawn.
Yeah.
So,
it wasn't perverse for the sake of perversion.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just like I wanted to bring that up. Just I don't know, because I just feel like with female mangaka, at least I feel like I don't know if it's because they're females and they can empathize with certain things, so they can draw that out better in certain scenarios in their mangas or what, but that's how I felt about the whole thing.
Yeah, there was definitely a it was not a focus, like there was no they never inserted a character with huge breasts and no clothes for no reason or anything like that, which can be well done, but it definitely would have taken away from this manga, I think.
Imagine if I was gonna say, imagine if this was drawn by Titty Kubo.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
God, please
Yeah.
no.
Same.
She would be bending over a lot.
All the time. A lot of bending.
Ooh.
I chuckled because I went and looked at the mangaka's Mal page, and you know how like people can comment on everything on there? The top comment on her page is "I love you," but it's Xing Wu from Killing Stalking, and I was like, no,
No!
Ooh.
I don't want your love. Please leave.
He's like, I don't want this. All right, so we are coming up on about just like 10-15 minutes left. So let's go ahead and is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we jump into final thoughts and ratings?
Here's my final thought on the art. I fucking hate when he has that drape on his face. I hate it. I hate it so much, and I don't know why. I think because I find his like bone face so fascinating, and when there's a big sheet over it, and they do like lots of panels of him like talking, but it's just the same fucking face with a sheet. I'm like, stop, take the sheet off. It bothers me so much. Anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like Elias is going to be a very popular cosplay in the very near future.
Oh, yeah,
I hope
definitely.
so. I want to see some dank Eliases out there. That would be amazing.
And like all of his different forms, because he's had a few now that have been really, and so I'm very interested to see what people make from it. I'd love to see that. Final thoughts and ratings? Shall we do? I'm trying to think of a rating. Yeah.
I'll go first. I have a number in mind.
Do it.
Go, Lou.
All right. So based on everything that we've said, from the issues that I've had with the initial framework of the narrative and how that plays into how Chisei has developed as a character, but also the avenues that it leaves the mangaka to explore in terms of having her grow as a person and become more self-reliant and develop her own identity. In terms of the art, with my appreciation of the aesthetic specifically and the really big moments, I feel like a fair score for this manga is an 8. I feel like it does enough well and lays the foundation for a really interesting and profound story, but it's not there yet. But it did enough right that I can't, like, I feel any lower of a score would be penalizing it unjustly. I feel like a lot of what this manga is able to do successfully would be, I guess, more easily understood and more effective via animation. So that's why I have the OVAs queued up on Crunchyroll right now. So I'm gonna watch that
Let me know what you think.
really soon. So yeah, an 8.
I was thinking about giving it an 8 as well. I like the way that the story has paced out so far. I think that there have been a couple of moments where I'm like, I don't understand why that happened that way. But in terms of like the characters and the way that character development is happening, I am happy with that. And I'm excited to know more about them and see like how the mangaka has the relationships between all of these different characters grow and develop and change. I like blasted through this manga because I liked it so much. So yeah, I would definitely give it an 8 because I think it has a lot of potential. Like Lou said, I think that this is the foundation for a really good story if it's done right. So
I think I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. Like I was very into this manga, very engaged. It went super quick. I didn't want to stop reading. I loved the characters. I loved the world that's being built. There was a few issues that I had with characters coming in, like the creepy dude during Ruth's story, and with like the cat and stuff. His just felt so bizarrely placed for me, and also just very a little bit tropey. And like I think there were some things in this manga that were a little bit tropey, but everything else was really well done. that it's really hard for me to be distracted by those things. And I'm very interested to see where it goes. I really love the art. I thought the pacing was great. And the characters are definitely building interesting relationships that seem to be going great places. So, yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.
Before Lou even said anything, in mind I had an 8 out of 10, just because, yes, I did enjoy this so far. For the first few volumes of this series, I really did enjoy what it's done, and like Lou and everybody else said, it's just, I don't know, I feel like it would be an injustice to give it a lower score just because of how much it actually does right, that it's really easily forgivable to, I don't even know, I'm so nervous now. I'm but, I don't know, I feel like it just wouldn't be fair to give it anything lower. It just does so much right, basically. And it's not just because it has pretty boys, okay? I know some of my fans are out there. They're like, oh, Moeka's at it again.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So we all definitely recommend that you go and check out this manga. Let us know what you think in the comments on the VOD that'll go up. And we're very excited to hopefully get to read more of this someday. And check out the anime, which is coming out, I think, in a week or two, whenever the new season starts. So definitely look forward to checking that out. I'm stoked. I'm totally going to do it. I'm really excited. So let's go ahead and read the summary for the manga that we're reading next week. I will not be doing it because I'm roboting really hard.
You
but
sound
Lou
fine to me.
Oh, I do now? I was roboting for
But
chat.
hey, Lou
Okay.
never gets the chance,
You know
so
what?
Lou
I've
should do
Never
it.
done it before.
Yeah,
I
do
want
it,
to test
Lou.
out my new mic, guys.
Let's go,
All right.
Lou.
All
I am so excited to see what he blanks.
Me too.
So, hit it.
I don't think I'm going to blank anything. Let's go. All right. Framed and convicted. All right. Framed and convicted of a murder. Blank has just arrived at blank detention center. He is placed in self. I'm blanking a lot. All right. No, you wanted me to blank. Now I'm blanking everything.
Great.
He is placed in cell blank and is soon greeted by his fellow inmates blank, blank, and blank, all of whom have been detained on varying charges and sentences. Already believing life to be laden with misfortune, blank finds, to his dismay, that this blank is in the midst of a violent power struggle. However, things are about to get even worse. Little do the inmates know, and employees know, that the outside world has been thrown into chaos by a sudden blank, and the van carrying infected blank has just crashed into the blank, abruptly introducing them to the blank threat. There we go. It's like super inconsistent blanking.
I wasn't sure what next week's was going to be, and even with all those blanks, I know what it is now. So I feel like somebody can probably get it.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Good job, Blue. You did good.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
We are going to be kicking off. This was a hint. We're going to be kicking off our manga spoopy week. Spoop or not week, month.
Spoopy month.
Month. Where all of October. I don't think we've done this before, but all of October we're going to be reading horror-esque manga every single week. So that'll be fun. I'm excited.
Xenophon got it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Apocalypse No Toy Day. Oh, I love that manga so much. I love it so much. So we are going to be real messed up. Real messed up, but makes it good. We're going to be reading chapters 24 through 46.5, which is the end of the manga. So we're technically just finishing it out. So if you guys haven't read it before,
I might reread the whole beginning. I might just read all of it.
I mean, that'll take like 10 minutes.
I know, it's so fucking fast.
It's real fast. So if you guys like, wait, hang on, I don't want to spoil anything. Yeah, if you guys like zombie apocalypse stories, be sure and check it out and then join us next week. I wanted to make sure that was in the summary before I spoiled the whole series for everybody. Yeah, so that is what we are going to be discussing next week. Let's go around and shout out our stuff super fast. I'm Erin of Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/happilyerin, where all the previous manga pods are hosted. It's kind of just MangaPod channel at the moment. I haven't made very much, like, any new content, really. But if you want to check out my previous stuff, that'd be super appreciated. I do anime reviews and first impressions of different series, as well as mental health awareness stuff. If you want to check me out on any other social media, I'm happily airing all across everything, much more active there, especially on Twitter and Instagram. So go and check me out. Tweet me about Voltron, which is where I'm at in my life right now.
Hi guys, I'm Dodger. You might be watching this on my Twitch, twitch.tv/DexBonus. I'm DexBonus on pretty much all social media, and my YouTube is Press Heart to Continue. There is plans to put stuff on my YouTube channel. I swear it's not dead forever. And I also have a coffee company called Dodger Coffee Co. And I would love it if you would check it out. Thank you, thank you. DodgerCoffeeCo.com if you would like to look at my beans. Go check my beans out. Winku, winku.
Oh, that's great. That's a great tagline, Dodger.
Thank you. Check out my beans. They're gonna put that quote on everything.
Do it.
David's gonna be so happy.
All right. My name's Lou. I'm from a YouTube channel called Lou Talks Anime, where I recently posted a video a few days ago about Neo Yokio.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
For those of you that don't know what Neo Yokio is, it was developed by the singer for a band, Vampire Weekend. It stars Jude Law and Jaden Smith, and it is an interesting thing.
Oh.
Hell yeah! We were waiting
Right
for
at the
that.
end there.
Yes.
Yes. Good.
Hang on. Wait.
There we go. It's great.
What a beautiful boy. Train out
That
of
was
train.
Jaden Smith. You know, he had to chime in.
There he was. He's like, I'm here.
But so yeah, lots of people seem to be digging that video. It was fun to make. But yeah, check out my stuff and also talk to me on Twitter. I'm way more active on there. Lou Talks Anime. So see you next time.
Moeka?
Hello, I am MegaMoeka. Thank you for having me. All across, pretty much. I am anywhere MegaMoeka. So, like, right now I'm mostly active on Twitch and Twitter. So, at MegaMoeka. I do have a YouTube channel, which I haven't really done much, but I'm thinking about getting into first impression videos just because they're quick to do for me. And I'm able to do it with some of the voice acting stuff on the side. So check that out soon. But yeah, if not, you could just go to www.megamoeka.com and you'll find all my stuff linked there. So yeah.
Moeka, a quick question about your streams. I've seen you play Persona 5. Pretty
Yes,
fun
right
streams
now.
to watch. I've also seen you do some crafty streams. Are you going to be doing those more often?
Yes. I also do, I do a lot of stuff, which is kind of a detriment sometimes. But yes, I do cosplay on the side. And actually, I just got a new pattern that I've been wanting to check out. And it's like a side cape, basically.
Sick.
And so yeah, I am wanting to do more cosplay streams. And now that I've organized my room a little bit more, I have more room to do that. So those are coming, guys.
Awesome.
Cool.
Sweet. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy you were able to join us.
Yeah.
And you will definitely have to join us again very soon, for sure. Yay! Thank you all so much on Twitch and on YouTube. If you're watching the VOD of this, thank you so much for watching. We will be here same time, same place next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, talking Fort of Apocalypse, Apocalypse Notori Day, the rest of it, all of it, just the whole thing,
Yeah.
every bit, all of the bits. So we'll be doing that next week. Bye.
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 Anything else? Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, everybody.